Hello Sagittarius. Great to have you here. My name is Shauna. Today's reading is a general love forecast. As always, take the messages that resonate and release anything that doesn't. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay connected with upcoming readings. Let's see what's headed your way, Sagittarius. That is going to affect this reading as well, okay? So the first card out is the Two of Cups in the reverse position. I'm going to see the cards surrounding it before I start talking about this. But in general, it's also, this is the signal. Usually when I do private reading for clients and they ask about relationships, this usually indicates that it's the end of a cycle, okay? It's sort of like things have already run its course. You kind of like have you have learned as much as you can from one another, and it is time to move on. In work relationships, in interpersonal relationship, in romance, that's what the card would indicate. However, it could also indicate like a falling out between people that can be fixed. I do feel in this situation that it's family related, so it could be like legal proceeding, like a breakdown in the family unit. It could also be, parents, a marriage relationship, people are getting divorced and things like that, or they're divvying up the assets between parties. I do feel in this situation it is related to the family, okay? Or you might have a spouse who lives far away, who travels for work, for example, and they might, you might have like a significant relationship with another person, but they don't live in the same household, or they have recently moved out because of a disagreement or, a dispute, an argument between the two of you, something like that, okay? So let's pull out the rest of the cards. Okay, Ten of Wands. All right, yeah, so it's the lack of another person in the picture. I feel that it's in the home or work environment, and because of the other person's absence, you're kind of like shouldering the weight of the world, okay? So it feels like before there were two people, you're working as a team, one person is out of the picture, so now you have to like do all the work, and you don't have the other person in your life to depend on, okay? It can be for good or for it can be good or bad, but what I do sense is this card is still in the upright position. So it indicates to me, financially, if there were two people that this financial windfall is supposed to go to, now there's only you or the other person. There's only you. So you're going to reap the whole financial rewards, okay? So you don't have to divide the financial situation between another party. So that's one way that it can go well, but at the expense, you have to like do twice the work. So it's just the law of the universe. You're going to reap what you put in, okay? So you're going to reap what you sow. Excuse me, I can't talk with this. Okay, so I hope this makes sense for a lot of you who might be going through this issue. So, wow, we have a very good card here. All right. Okay, so what I am sensing is a lot of you have let go of romantic situations, okay, like romantic partners, because this indicates a new love that is coming in for you. This is going to be something that is that will surpass and exceed your expectations. And I do feel in general a lot of you might be a little bit walled up, okay? So be very careful when this energy comes in. You're kind of like going through the motions, picking up the pieces of, in the aftermath of this falling out, or you're trying to get your house in order, you're trying to like keep up with the responsibilities at work, and you're kind of like not really seeing what's in front of you, and then this love out of the blue just like rolls in, okay? So as busy as you are, take some time off to really enjoy this opportunity, and really try to enjoy other people's I would say like company, okay? So seek the company of others, because amongst them you might achieve a great love. But in general, this could also be financially linked as well. All the work and all the hard work that you're putting in, all the energy and the effort, you're going to have a really great payoff in terms of, getting, having satisfaction for a job well done, but also having that financial gain that's coming in for you, okay? And at the same time, the cup is on top of this card, which indicates to me a big milestone in your life, okay? There is something that you have been wanting to do for a really long time. So this is embarking on a new journey, possibly. It could also be like having this, you, in the past, you were manifesting this big work project, and now you're actually going to implement it in the real world. So this is a very, very important milestone. You're going to have like, you know, that green light energy to go ahead with this towards the end of the month, okay? And I do feel in the meantime, you're kind of like, you're keeping yourself very busy to do last minute touches on this work project potentially, so that it can manifest in a way that is very, with a very good and prosperous outcome. So another thing I am sensing here is a lot of you might have recently like, or might put a house on the market. I do feel the house is no longer serving its purpose. You're going to get a buyer, and but in the process of buying it, I feel that a few minor repairs or a lot of little repairs have to be done in order for you to find the right buyer. Okay, so that is going to possibly drag on until the end of this month, and you're able to sell the house finally at the end of the month. Okay, so that's another way that that can play out for you. I'm actually going to pull out two more cards here. Okay, so regarding legal issues, I do feel that if this is a divorce, or even, you know, so dividing up a property or dividing up your assets, I do sense that yeah, so Sagittarius in general, most of you will have to pay out the other person, and it's going to be a little bit more than you've expected, okay? I don't feel that it is going to be problematic because you are going through a good phase in your life at this point, and financially, both of these cards are finance, indicate finances. This is in the reverse position, so I do feel that, you know, property and things like that have to be divided between two people who are not no longer speaking to one another. They're walking along the same life path. This is somebody that you've invested a great deal of feelings into, who you've had a very long history with. But and it's not that they're bad people, it's just there was a falling out, okay? You've like outgrown each other, and you're at a point in your life where you can embark on a new journey without one another. So that's what I'm sensing this falling out is about. It's not a major blowout. It's just, you know, simply things have run their course or its course, and you are meant for other people, you are meant for other things. So because of it, you can divide this up on friendly terms. Granted, you know, you have 5 pentacles here. Someone, you can't divide up a pentacle, so someone might end up with one more than the other. But I don't feel, you know, it shouldn't be problematic, so don't make it a problem, okay? But that's something that is coming in here with the Justice card, as well as underneath the Five of Pentacles. Okay, so someone might end up with slightly more, but I feel that, you know, he or she deserves it, maybe due to health problems, okay? So they might need it. So it's in your best interest to just let them have that one thing and move on with your life if that's something that's bothering you. And at the same time, towards the end of this week, I do feel that you're going to be in a good place, okay? So emotional satisfaction is going to come in, and it's related to this one major work project. And also, there's a sense of accomplishment. There's a sense of like picking up the pieces and being very content with all the work that you've put in, and how well you're able to pick up the pieces in your life and move on. So you're going to be in a really good place, and you're going to feel very competent and confident about your endeavors in the future. And as for this situation, I don't feel that both parties were in the wrong. It's just, you know, the wrong relationship for you. It's something that cycled in time and time and time again, and the person was not, you know, the best. I don't feel that they're horrible people. You know, this is actually a card of like great emotional, intellectual rapport, and you might have like the same value system. Okay, so I don't feel like this is a relationship of dichotomy where both parties don't get along. There is actually, you know, a great deal of like sameness about both parties. However, the relationship was dragged on, and then it ran past its expiration date, and both parties were still hanging on due to a sheer sense of emotional financial security. This is actually going to be overturned this month, and you can finally get yourself out of this situation. But it is going to require like extracting yourself, especially your financial entanglements with one another, in order to make a clean break. Okay, so once again, I don't feel it was a bad relationship. So just know that you could be the best people in the world. If you're not made for each other, then let one another go, because then you can find true love. Okay, in the process of letting go of things that don't serve you, the universe will replace those things with things that are actually good for you, with things that are conducive for your growth in the future. So just let it go, and you will be in a much better place. Okay, and this is going to come about too. A lot of you might be in a relationship with possibly like a water sign, like a Pisces, and Pisces, a Cancer, or a Scorpio. He or she is very, very supportive of you, and I feel that you're quickly realizing that so a water sign is an opposing energy, but water signs in general are very emotionally nurturing. They're very supportive. So they will always, always stand behind you, okay? So they don't try to talk you out of it when you've had your heart set on something. They are very nurturing and supportive. Even if they don't have great stock in what it is that you're trying to pursue, they know how to be receptive, and they know how to take a back seat when their partner is trying to shine. So I feel like in general, you're starting to realize that you want partnerships that are emotionally nurturing. You don't want the excitement anymore. You're kind of tired of it, because maybe the excitement was in the previous relationship, but there wasn't a lot of like emotional attachment. So you both might have the same ways of living, same ways of doing things, but in general, you were kind of like doing your own thing, and you gradually drifted apart. That's what I'm sensing here. It's a drifting apart, but then neither party realized it until it was too late, and they realized they have nothing in common anymore. And that's when, they realize that they have to end the relationship. So I do feel moving forward, you might end up with somebody who's very different from you, but they are giving you that emotional nurturance. And that's something that you are starting to realize for the very first time, that that's what you crave, okay? And at the same time, I do feel throughout this process, throughout this ordeal, you might be in a place where you feel very unloved. You feel like kind of like cast out. But I do sense that there is a change in the atmosphere. There's like a vibrational change happening because you were able to let go of that situation. That energy is gone from your life. So it's like it unblocks other things that are trying to get in, other emotionally fulfilling relationships, other jobs opportunities, for example, other financial windfalls, for example. So those channels are being unblocked, and then you have many blessings that are going to come in for you, and as a result, you're realizing that once and for all, that you are well taken care of, that you are loved, and that you are reaping a lot of abundance. Okay, that there are people around you who really want to help you, who really want to be there for you. So I mean, it's a big transformative month, because more than anything, there is a revival in your self-esteem, in your sense of optimism for the future, and your sense of like lovability and worthiness is what I'm sensing here. And you're coming into a situation in which you just realize, this is what I want. And I want somebody who is emotionally nurturing, rather than someone who's exciting, rather than someone who's stable, but they can't really give me that emotional support. Okay, so for fire signs in general, you kind of blaze through life. So I feel like a little bit of introspection is going to happen for this month. It's not a long introspective process in the way that the Hermit card represents, or in the same way that Four of Swords represent. It's more of a very like a quick like lightning fast type of intuitive knowing, where you're realizing, okay, that didn't work, so I can at least, through the process of elimination, rule it out. And now I want this, I want this grand love, and I want this really supportive, love situation. I want people around me who support me no matter what I choose to do. And usually you make the right choice, because you have very, very high moral integrity. You have very high ideals and standards, and you don't compromise yourself, okay? So the people around you, more than anything, they really admire that about you. So you are going to attract the right people by not compromising. Yeah, I'm sensing here, don't compromise your values. This is, this is compromise. This is the Libra. Libra are very great at compromising. They're great at diplomacy. Sagittarius, tend to be a little more blunt, and when you don't like something, when something doesn't jive well with your value system, you will let the other party know, which is a great thing to do, actually. And what I am sensing here too is you might be entangled with somebody who you know is not good for you, who is not going to be around for you, and now you're kind of sick of it. You know, it's kind of like they're, first of all, flaky, and then they tell you they're going to be there for you through thick and thin, and then when, you know, times get rough, they just remove themselves from the picture, for example. So now they want a second chance, and you're just not having it, okay? So this could also indicate, you know, the breakdown in relationships in the compromise department, but I feel that you're in a good place right now. So it is important for you to not compromise on the things that you believe in. I do feel that, yeah, so the cards are echoing the same things. When you can hold true to your own values, when you can stand alone despite the opposition, when you have enough like inner strength and conviction in the things that you believe in, even though it's lonely up there, as long as you don't compromise, okay, then you're going to have this really huge sense of like fulfillment and happiness. And I was getting the same sense for Aries too. So I'm feeling like this might be a fire sign issue. And I know like all fire signs in general, but Sagittarius and Leos, you don't compromise for the things that you believe in, okay? It's hard for you to do that. You love your partner and you are very good like caretakers, and once you devote yourself, you are committed. But I do sense that when it comes to like compromising your integrity and things like that, you're just not going to do it. And you're going to have to make hard decisions too, such as Aries, when it comes to, you know, whether or not to stay in this relationship where you have to kind of like sell out a part of yourself or sell out like things that you really value, or you have to suppress things that you have to suppress your value system in order to work well with another partner, for example, in order to work on a to have like a smooth work environment with people that you don't that you clash with on a values-based system. So you're going to realize that, you know, it's okay that you are strong enough to be on your own and to carry your own sense of integrity and not have to compromise yourself in order to achieve like in order to achieve stability, in order to achieve like a very stagnant work environment without disruption. So for example, you would rather like, if for example in the past you have like kind of like swept things under the rug rather than to avoid like big arguments about value system, for example, for this month, you're going to realize that it's just not worth it. It's not worth like maintaining the peace at the expense of your own integrity. Okay. So yeah, I feel like this is a fire sign thing. The same energy is coming in for all three signs, pretty much for mainly for like Aries, and it's coming up again here for you. So I do feel it's a fire energy, and you know, Mercury in retrograde brings about things in our lives that we have to re-examine as well. So it's actually a very, very introspective phase. But I do feel that because you're a fire sign, it's going to affect you in a different way. And it's going to affect you, like I mentioned, it's going to come in very swiftly. And then you're kind of like, you have this like awakening, like this is what I want, you know, rather than coming in stages and rather than like being transformative throughout the month. I do feel this is going to come in very, very swiftly, but you're going to have like a lot of good insights, okay, about what you want to do and what you need to make you ultimately very happy, okay? And in the process, you're going to realize very quickly that you have to be you in order to be happy. Every time I see this card, I think of it as the essence of a fire sign, because the wand energy, first of all, is a fire sign. This man is wearing a red robe and he is surrounded by fire, okay? So this is something that is, you know, being true to yourself, when you are true to yourself, then you're going to know where you want to go. So it's kind of like through interactions with other people, through our jobs, through our daily routine, through all the things that we have to do to sustain and maintain our life, we lose track of ourselves, okay? So we lose track of direction. We lose track of where we want to go, who we want to be. So surround yourself by your own element. And that, what I mean by that is, don't compromise the things that you believe in, because those are the things that makes you the person that you are. They are also a product of your upbringing. So without those things to remind you of where you come from, you're not going to know where you want to go. So this is important here. And I do feel that ultimately that is what's going to make you happy here. So I hope you enjoy the reading. If you like if it resonates with you, please like, share, subscribe. If you would also like a private reading, please contact me at temperatestar@gmail.com. Who are going through this, energy, okay? And I will be back next week as well for the weekly reading. Thank you so much, Sagittarius, for watching.